there. This is Rex, the Rockin' Reptile, your host for tonight. You who clicked on this YouTube video, you are about to embark on a journey of love, hate, revenge, magic, and oh yeah, heavy metal. So buckle your seatbelts, dudes and dudettes. It's time to let the animal in all of us run wild. This is Nightriders, Battle of the Bands, the YouTube audio series. Better hang on to your tails, cause it's about to get crazy.
Phew, that was scary.
Chapter 1.
After a long day of travel, Axl Rains, the heavy metal star, was lying on top of the Nightriders band van, shirtless, with his hands under his head. He heaved a heavy sigh as the heat of the sun warmed his cold-blooded body. He was in a dreamy, relaxed state. His tongue quickly shot in and out of his mouth. He closed his eyes and a smile curled at his lips as he enjoyed the brief change of pace from the busy life of a full-time touring musician. Many pleasures awaited him in the metropolis of Beach City. The sandy beach, the ocean, the clubs, the guitar and record stores. These thoughts, complemented by the warmth of the sun, brought Axl deeper into his peaceful state.
"Hey, Axl!"
a gruff voice shouted, pulling Axl from his reverie.
"Get your scaly butt down from there and give us a hand! The last thing I need is for you to be a lazy lizard!"
Axl leaned forward and saw his gray-haired wolf bandmate, Rolf, standing on the side of the van with his arms at his sides, appearing quite annoyed.
"All right, coming,"
Axl said as he yawned and stretched out his arms. He then fluidly slid off the side of the van.
"What do you need, buddy?"
Rolf motioned towards the tables, chairs, and cooler that had been set outside the van for their rest stop.
"Help us load the van. We still have a long drive ahead of us."
Sure, replied Axl with another yawn as he adjusted his spike collar.
Rolf, there's no need to be such a boss,"
Lonnie, the shaggy-haired lion, said as he stepped out of the van. He was the drummer and always wore a white tank top with shades. He took a sip of his root beer.
"This ain't no dictatorship, you know. It's one for all and all for one, remember?" "Yeah, whatever," Rolf muttered. "But we've got a schedule to keep, and you two bums are acting like sloths." "Oh, come on, Rolf," Lonnie snickered. "We've got plenty of time." Yeah, Rolf grumbled. "You guys would be helpless without me."
Rolf started to fold the lawn chairs. Axl lifted the cooler and carried it into the van.
"Hey, don't let him chase you away like our last front man,"
Lonnie said as he put his hand on Axl's shoulder. Axl chuckled as he entered the van. "Chased away? Ha! I've been in worse situations. Believe me when I say that I've been with bandmates who literally wanted to kill me. Don't worry, buddy, I'm here to stay." Despite his confident reply, Axl knew in part this was a product of his wishful thinking. Being tossed from one dead-end band to the next had been his experience in the music industry, and it was not until a swift stroke of luck had presented him the opportunity to please Rolf through an audition that he had been catapulted into the limelight. Knowing about Rolf's infamous temper, he was aware from the beginning that remaining on good terms with Rolf would be his biggest challenge to him if he were to retain his new role as the lead vocalist of the Nightriders. At Axl's answer, Lonnie patted him on the shoulder with a smile.
"Well, that's a relief, 'cause I'm not sure I could handle Rolf on my own."
Axl returned the smile. Lonnie's company was a refreshing contrast to Rolf's critical personality. While Axl set the cooler in the back of the van, Rolf and Lonnie loaded the chairs. The interior of the van had worn brown seats and gray carpeting. As usual, empty soda cans, cupcake wrappers, and equipment were cluttered about. As Lonnie got behind the wheel and pulled out of the rest stop, Rock City by Smoosh played on the radio. This is gonna be a long ride, Axel thought. He sank into the seat and closed his eyes. A few hours had passed without incident. Axel and Rolf jammed on their guitars and sang with the music to help pass the time. Lonnie drove, bobbing his head to the beat. Axel leaned his head back in his seat and played a riff on the guitar, allowing his thoughts to drift. They had been on the road for 2 months, playing to sold-out venues of screaming, headbanging fans. It was quite the change of pace from his life before he joined the band. The local venues in Axel's hometown at Greenwood Swamp lacked the level of excitement compared to playing in a stadium full of fanatical fans. People would visit the small rundown clubs in Greenwood Swamp because they had nothing better to do. But the people at the stadiums and large music theaters were there because they were real Nightriders fans who slapped down hard-earned cash to watch their favorite musicians in person. They knew the songs lyric for lyric, note for note, as well as the names of the band members. This was the most interesting change for Axel, as it was amazing and frightening at the same time. Fans would chant his name after shows, begging for an autograph and a photo. Needless to say, the fans had taken to him quite well, considering it was almost a year ago when the shocking news hit the music scene that longtime Coyote lead vocalist Mac Manson had left after having released 3 successful albums with the Nightriders. While Rolf assured them they would find a suitable replacement for Mac, the departure of the longtime lead vocalist brought into question the future of the band. After all, his voice had become synonymous to music fans as the voice of the Nightriders. Would the new lead vocalist carry the same stage presence and singing ability as one so accomplished as Mac? The media cited the breakup due to irreconcilable differences, but the rumor was that Mac's career with the Nightriders had fallen victim to Rolf's harsh, condescending attitude. Axel only hoped his own personality had the perseverance to withstand the tantrums of the wolf. So far, all conflict between himself and the ill-tempered Rolf had been limited to minor squabbles and criticisms over his technique. Apart from this, they had been off to a relatively good start, since he had won over Rolf at the audition. Axel looked over at Rolf and furrowed his brow. The furry canine was growling to himself as he struggled to open a soda bottle. "Stupid bottle!" Rolf shouted, breaking the top of the glass on his guitar case. Axel frowned as soda splashed onto his 3-toed foot. Ignoring Rolf's small tantrum over the soda bottle, Axel returned to playing various guitar riffs on his red V-shaped guitar. Having to constantly perform Nightrider songs at each gig, Axel enjoyed playing songs from other bands in between shows. It was relaxing, as well as a throwback to the days before becoming a professional musician, when he would sit on his parents' back porch back at the swamp and play to the sounds of nature. Axel was very close to mastering a very particular riff he had been trying to learn from a new song by Dragonfire, one of his favorite metal bands. "Yuck, I still can't believe you actually like Dragonfire," Rolf said in disgust, jarring Axel from his personal performance. "They play their music so fast that it's not even music." Axel burst into laughter. "Too fast? Since when is it possible to play metal too fast?" "Yeah, well, the way they go about it is all wrong," Rolf said, struggling for an answer. Axel crossed his arms and leaned forward as if listening intently. Why?" he said with a smirk. Rolf scratched his furry head as he stammered. Suddenly Rolf's eyes lit up. "Because all the music sounds the same. When are they going to experiment and grow musically as a band?" Axel rolled his reptilian eyes and scoffed. "Right. Like your favorite band, Bells of Hell?" As soon as the words left his mouth, Axel could tell from Rolf's narrowed eyes that he had once again managed to bring his bandmate to his boiling point. Even though it was never pretty, Axel strangely found it amusing to watch Rolf resort to his angry tirades when he was cornered in an argument. Rolf angrily leaned forward.
Don't you ever compare Bells of Hell to Dragonfire in front of me again!
He growled, glaring at Axel. Axel chuckled as he tried to reduce the tension. Okay, Rolf, chill. Jeez, you overreact. He held up his hands in surrender. In an irritated fashion, Rolf dropped his blue Les Paul to the floor.
You know, with your taste and knowledge in music, it makes me wonder if the only reason we hired your scaly hide in the first place is because you could stick out your tongue farther than Sheen Clemens.
In response, Axel reclined in his chair and stretched out his arms. What can I say? Being a lizard does have its perks. Then, to Rolf's disgust, Axel lapped a mouthful of chocolate raisins from a nearby container with his long tongue. Rolf released a long, annoying sigh and shook his head.
Ugh, I hate it when you do that.
With an intentional loud gulp, Axel swallowed the raisins. I know, he said with a grin. Lonnie, who had been listening to the lively conversation of his bandmates, was no longer able to contain his emotions and burst into laughter from the driver's seat.
Find something funny?
Rolf snarled.
Yep.
Lonnie replied as he grinned at Rolf through the rearview mirror.
Listening to you guys is always funny.
Axel smiled again. This was going to be a good tour.
Well now, that was a salty beginning for our rock heroes, wasn't it? Let us hope they are able to sort out their differences soon, for a storm approaches. This is the part of the video where I sign off using the most cliche line in YouTube history. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to floss out that nasty stuff between your teeth. Seriously guys, that's just gross. This is Rex, the Rockin' Reptile, signing out.
Hi, Axel. Don't you want a balloon?
Yeah, pass.